Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. After awakening, I was determined to change my tragic fate. At the party, Sam's friends surrounded me. "We heard you've liked Sam since you were little, even insisting on playing his wife when you played house. Do you still like him now?" Countless eyes fell on me in an instant. But I looked past them toward the man in the corner pouring himself a drink. "I was immature back then and caused Sam a lot of trouble," I said calmly. "Actually, I stopped liking him a long time ago. Besides, I'm about to get married." For a moment, the sound of breaking glass echoed through the room. Sam stared at his shoes, now soaked with spilled wine. His eyes reddened and he stood frozen, unable to recover. Chapter 1. I could have married Sam 6 years ago. But Sam didn't know that every time he missed his chance, it was by my design. Because I had awakened. This world was nothing more than a tragic novel. Sam was the male lead, my sister Eva was the female lead, and I was just the love-struck villainess. Our families were close neighbors, and Sam, like my sister, was 3 years older than me. We could barely be considered childhood sweethearts. Sam had always taken special care of me since we were young. I thought he liked me. From the moment I was born, whether I was sad or happy, he was there. He had been part of my life for 22 years. Loving him felt as natural as breathing. I couldn't even remember when I started liking him. I still remember playing house as kids. Sam said he would be my dad, my sister would be my mom, and I was their baby. I cried and broke my toy shovel. I said I should be the mom because one day I would wear a wedding dress and marry Sam. My sister laughed and pushed me toward Sam. Okay, you can marry him." Sam didn't refuse me then. He called me wife and put his grandmother's red handkerchief over my head, pretending it was a bridal veil. I was only 5 years old, but the moment that red veil covered me, I started dreaming that dream for 17 years. Until Valentine's Day during my junior year in college, which happened to be a weekend. I was out shopping with my roommates when I saw Sam and my sister walking side by side. Sam affectionately brushed a leaf off my sister's hair. Then he bought her chocolates. "Zoe, Sam actually bought chocolates. Does he like your sister? Does she know you like him?" That day my world fell apart. It only takes a moment for someone to change. I felt like no one loved me. Chapter 2. Jealousy is like a seed. Once it sprouts, it becomes uncontrollable. I couldn't accept that the man I loved for so many years had someone else in his heart. So at my graduation party, I drugged Sam. I took Sam home early, bringing him to my place. Sam lost control the moment we walked in, pressing me into the bedroom. His kisses, urgent and relentless, moved from my lips to my stomach, spreading inch by inch. I was excited and terrified. I didn't just want to have him. I wanted my sister to catch us in this chaotic scene. That way, Sam would have no choice but to marry me. But just then I awakened. Memories of the future flooded my mind. Sam believed he had acted recklessly under the influence and married me out of guilt. But it didn't take long for him to discover the truth. From then on, he resented me, and our life was a complete mess. During one of our arguments, he pushed me down the stairs, leaving me paralyzed and unable to care for myself. My sister never married. Later, while traveling, she was hit by a car and died. The day my sister died, Sam lost his mind and ran out, leaving me gravely ill to die alone in bed. Only after my death did I realize this world was a tragic novel. Because of my jealousy, everyone lost. No one had a happy ending. Chapter 3. What are you thinking about? How can you space out at a time like this? Sam's low, hoarse voice brought me back to reality. His heavy breaths brushed against my ear. I touched his cheek and started crying. His eyes, those captivating, charming eyes, were beautiful. But the truth was I'd never truly been in his heart. The desire in his gaze faltered, replaced by panic. "Why are you crying? Don't you like me?" I did. I liked him so much it hurt. I might have been a bad person, but not bad enough to wish death upon everyone. "Sam, I regret this." "I'm sorry." "Let's stop." Sam was at a loss, but his rationality broke the next moment. My sister came back just as I was struggling. Not just her, Sam's friend Ethan was there too. They thought Sam was forcing himself on me and immediately pulled him away. My sister even grabbed a broom and started hitting Sam. The scene was a mess, and in that moment I realized just how terribly I had messed up. It's not Sam's fault, it's mine. I confessed everything. Everyone fell silent, looking at me like I was a stranger. Ethan gritted his teeth and pointed at me. Do you realize you committed a crime? I know. I'm willing to accept punishment. In the end, it was Sam who stepped in front of me. She's just a kid who didn't know any better. Don't blow this out of proportion. A kid? She's 22. Are you still calling her a child? I looked at Sam through my tears. I wanted to take him to the hospital, but when I reached for his arm, he shook me off. My sister sighed. I'll go with him. You stay here and think about what you've done. At that moment, I finally understood what my sister meant when she said, everyone loves you. Turned out that when someone stopped loving you, it felt like this. From this moment on, I knew I had to atone for what I had done. Chapter 4. Everyone knew there was a crazy girl who loved Sam so much that she even drugged him. I sent him countless apology messages and bought gifts, begging my sister to deliver them for me. It took him a few days to finally respond. I don't blame you. If you like someone, just say it. There's no need to do something like that. But by the time I received his message, I was already on a train to Shanghai. Thank you, and I'm sorry. Don't worry, I won't force you to like me anymore. After sending the text, I removed my SIM card, cut it in half with scissors, and switched to a new number I had prepared in advance. Before leaving, I told my sister that she could text me if she missed me, but not to mention anything about Sam. I didn't want to be the toxic villainess anymore. I was determined to leave the past behind. I eventually completed my internship and secured a full-time job, managing to settle down in the big city. I thought I'd never see Sam again, but I never expected Sam, being so exceptional, to be transferred to my company as the new deputy director. On the day we welcomed Sam, I was completely stunned, lamenting the cruelty of fate. I watched him enter the office and then disappear behind the door. Thankfully, he didn't notice me. My coworker gasped. Finally, a handsome boss without a beer belly. Then she elbowed me. Zoe, he's exactly your type. I snapped out of my daze and stiffly nodded. Yeah, he's my type. The supervisor knocked on my head. Don't get any funny ideas. Rumor has it some woman once drugged Sam. Ever since then, he hates people who play dirty tricks. My heart clenched and the most shameful memory of my life resurfaced, tormenting me all over again. A coworker whispered behind her hand. Who would stoop so low? That's pathetic. I just wanted to find a hole to crawl into and hide. Chapter 5. Logically, I should have resigned immediately. But the job market was tough and I couldn't afford to quit so easily. Besides, my role was insignificant, tucked away in a corner. Even though our workspaces were on the same floor, Sam hadn't noticed me in 2 months. I had been hiding like a rat in the shadows. I didn't expect Ethan to show up at the company looking for Sam. Sam was in a meeting, so Ethan wandered around the office. I kept my head down, praying he wouldn't see me. But of course, what you fear always comes true. Zoe, is that you? Holy crap. You actually followed Sam all the way here. You're unbelievable, still clinging to him. Honestly, I'm impressed by your persistence. In an instant, everyone turned to look at me. I felt like I was naked, their stares slicing through me. My nose burned as tears welled up. I was here first. I didn't know this would happen. Just then, Sam finished his meeting and walked out of the conference room. The moment he saw me, his eyes froze. Zoe, what are you doing here? Before I could explain, Ethan pointed at me and said, what else? She's obviously here for you. Seriously, this is wild. I need to post this on my social media. Sam's hands trembled as he held the folder. He must have thought seeing me here was humiliating. Zoe, wait for me at lunch. I have something urgent right now, but we'll talk during lunch. He turned and walked into the office with the CEO. My coworkers, now fascinated, started asking about my relationship with Sam. Ethan was about to spill the truth, but I looked at him with teary eyes. Please don't. Speechless, he turned and left the area. I couldn't face Sam. All I could see in my mind was the image of myself dying alone, helpless and filthy in bed. I immediately went to my supervisor and submitted my resignation. Since my position didn't require much handover, it took me just an hour to pack up and leave the building. Chapter 6. I had to change my phone number again. It felt like I was constantly running away. From Shanghai, I moved to Guangzhou. This time I got smarter and asked my sister about Sam's whereabouts. As long as he came to my city, I would leave. I was always one step ahead, leaving just before he arrived. It wasn't until my company sent me abroad that I finally stopped running. I worked overseas for 6 years, going from struggling to thriving. I only returned to the country because my sister fell ill. She hosted a welcome-back dinner for me. Sam and Ethan were there too. 6 years later, Sam seemed even more composed. Time hadn't left many marks on his face. Instead, it gave him a mature charm. "Zoe, welcome back. Must have been a tiring journey." There was no surprise in his voice when he saw me. It was as if time had smoothed everything over. But he and my sister never married. It seemed my past actions had affected their relationship too. Some people had children while others remained playboys. My sister had climbed the ranks in government work and was now a director. Sam, on the other hand, had invested in shares and risen to the top. Rumor had it he owned several properties in Shanghai. After a few rounds of drinks, most people were tipsy, except for Sam, who hadn't touched a drop. "Sam, why do you need so many houses if you're not getting married? How about letting me live in one? I'll help you take care of it," Ethan joked. Sam smiled and glanced at me. "Zoe isn't married either. She bought property abroad. Why don't you help her instead?" Being suddenly singled out made my heart skip a beat. His friends immediately turned their attention to me. "Zoe, didn't you like Sam since you were a kid? You even pretended to marry him when playing house. Do you still like him now?" Countless eyes fell on me at once. I glanced at Sam. He continued pouring drinks, smiling, as if the question had nothing to do with him. I was young and foolish back then. Caused Sam a lot of trouble. Honestly, I don't like him anymore. I touched the ring on my finger. In fact, I'm getting married soon. I'll make sure to invite you all to my wedding. At that moment, I heard the sound of a glass shattering. Sam looked down at his soaked shoes, his eyes slightly red, frozen in place for a long time. Chapter 7. Sorry, my hand slipped. I'll clean it up. He stood up and left the table. My sister asked when I had started dating someone. I truly lived up to my reputation as the villainess. I lied without hesitation. 6 months ago, he's British. When Sam returned, the man who never drank was downing one glass after another. Eventually, everyone left. Sam stood in front of me. "Zoe, aren't you going to see me off?" I thought about it. He was drunk, and it wasn't safe for him to go alone. But even after walking Sam to his door, he didn't say a single word. I watched him unlock and open the door. I hesitated and then spoke up. I won't go in. I need to head back." Unexpectedly, Sam grabbed my wrist and pulled me inside. I lost my balance and instinctively clung to him. The moment the door shut, I was pinned against it. The dim room seemed to amplify all my senses. His breath, heavy with alcohol, brushed against my ear. My heart pounded. "Sam, don't." Before I could finish the word "don't," cold lips silenced me. Like a storm, he devoured my lips, leaving no room for escape. "Zoe, why did you lie to everyone about having a boyfriend? You're the one who keeps teasing me. Why am I always the one chasing after you?" "Sam, stop this. I need to go home." But he held me down tightly, his voice bitter and hoarse. "Zoe, you're too cruel. You shouldn't have abandoned me. 8 years ago, you did what you did. You should have taken responsibility for it." He grabbed my hand and guided it downward, forcing me to grasp his arousal. Chapter 8. It felt like something exploded in my head. Even through the fabric, my hand felt burned, desperate to escape. I tried to pull away, but he held on tighter. The tension in the air thickened. "Sam, you drank too much." "Zoe, didn't you touch me like this back then? Why are you running now? 8 years ago, you didn't hesitate at all." The truth was, we'd barely been intimate. Yet his words vividly revived those memories, leaving me mortified. Thinking about it, "Your face is burning." I suddenly realized Sam was rubbing his cheek against mine. "Zoe, you don't have a boyfriend, do you? Someone with a boyfriend wouldn't react like this." He kissed me, pulling me in bit by bit. "Zoe, finish what you started 8 years ago." His eyes, even in the dim light, bewitched me. They made me want to give in, to soothe him. He lifted me effortlessly and dropped me onto the couch by the floor-to-ceiling window. I surrendered to his embrace until his touch reached forbidden places. Sudden pain in my head snapped me out of the haze. I realized I wasn't the only one who had drunk too much.
Sam, no.
We can't do this, I need to leave. I tried to get up, but he pinned me down again. Was I not good enough? Why are you leaving? Do you hate me that much? How could I hate him? Even after all this time, I still loved him. Everyone knew it. Tears shimmered in his eyes. Despite all his brilliance, he was now reduced to begging for love, like a product on display waiting to be picked. Something felt wrong. I thought for a long time before realizing what it was. Don't you like my sister?
Sam froze.
When did I ever say I liked your sister? I was stunned. Hadn't he? No, when I woke up in this life, my memories told me he loved her. He studied my silence, then smiled. You thought I liked your sister, so you avoided me, didn't you?
No.
I've always liked you from the very beginning. Now that I've made it clear, will you accept me? My mind buzzed. It felt like the world had turned upside down. I didn't know what was real and what was fake. He leaned in again. The moment our skin touched, the gruesome images of my past death surfaced. Was it fake? But the pain, like my insides, had been eaten away. The helplessness of being unable to move felt too real. That fear snapped me awake. I pushed him away. I already said I have a boyfriend. I can't betray him.
Sam left bitterly.
Why didn't you mention your boyfriend earlier? When we were kissing, you were clearly into it then. Didn't you think about betraying him? Why was his logic always so sharp when it didn't need to be? Desperate, I made excuses. You should know by now, I'm not a good person. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done what I did back then. Maybe I just had a sudden pang of guilt.
Sames gaze darkant.
He seemed angry. I think they were right. You shouldn't have gotten off so easily after what you did. You need to be punished. My heart jumped. What are you going to do? He suddenly bit down on my collarbone, leaving marks as he sucked at my skin. Are you insane? I pushed and slapped him with all my strength, but he kept marking me one after another. I had no choice, I slapped him across the face. Wake up. He only looked at me, eyes full of bitterness. I don't believe you have a boyfriend anymore. If you do, bring him here to beat me up. I left his house with just one parting remark. You're impossible. Chapter 9. I felt like Sam had changed. The Sam I knew was always gentle and easygoing. But now he was unpredictable, darker, even brooding. Even in my awakened memories, no matter how many fights we had, he was never this hard to read. Sam had been hanging around my house for days. And then there was Ethan. I didn't know if I was imagining things, but Ethan seemed to like my sister. He showed up right on time every day to chat with her. It was barely fall, yet I had to keep my neck completely covered. Ethan glanced at me. You're sweating. Why don't you change out of that turtleneck? My sister burst out laughing. She's covering marks. Her boyfriend left them. Foreigners are just more open. I'm really worried my sweet sister won't be able to keep up. My face flushed bright red. Ethan teased. That's good. If things are passionate, the relationship will last. I was so embarrassed I wanted to disappear. But Sam, he laughed, seemingly in a great mood. When Ethan and my sister went out to the balcony to talk, Sam moved closer to me. Did you tell your sister I'm your boyfriend? My face burned and I snapped in frustration. Nonsense. I forgot to lock the door while changing, and she happened to see the marks. What was I supposed to say? That you kissed me? I had to make something up. When Ethan returned, I instinctively took a step back. What were you two talking about? Ethan asked. I quickly looked out the window. We were talking about how nice the weather is, perfect for a walk. But Sam spoke at the same time. We were saying her boyfriend's really good at kissing. The atmosphere grew eerily tense. I glared at Sam, but he added casually, of course, we also said the weather's nice for a walk. Getting some sunlight will be good for Eva's health too. I supported my sister as we walked ahead. Sam and Ethan trailed behind us, chatting. Not long after, Ethan suddenly let out a surprised exclamation. My sister and I turned around at the same time. Ethan gave me a thumbs up out of nowhere. He walked over and said I should rest while he accompanied my sister. And just like that, I was left walking behind with Sam. I couldn't resist asking, what were you guys talking about just now? Curious. Yes. I told Ethan that I'm your boyfriend and that the marks on your neck are from me. Chapter 10. I felt like I was on fire, as if smoke were coming out of my head. Why would you say something like that? Because it's the truth. Do you really think you can hide it from your sister? She's the one who asked you to take me home that night. She also follows your social media. Whether you have a boyfriend or not, I'm pretty sure your sister knows the answer. I was speechless because everything he said was true.
Sam sighed.
Also, your sister already texted me. He pulled out his phone and showed me. My sister had sent him a message asking, "Are you a dog? Look at how you left marks on Zoe's neck. And near the carotid artery no less. Next time, no kissing her neck." And Sam replied, "Got it. I'll be gentler next time." Next time, I was so embarrassed I wanted to disappear. Up ahead, my sister and Ethan both turned back and gave me a thumbs up. For a moment, I wasn't sure who I was or where I was. Sam took the opportunity to ask, "Zoe, it's been 8 years. I know it's my fault, but now I've finally gathered the courage to ask, will you be my girlfriend?" At that moment, it felt like time stopped. I saw nothing but Sam and sunlight. If only this were the happy ending of a novel. Chapter 11. No, we wouldn't end well together. I still turned Sam down. I sped up and walked past my sister and Ethan. This time I didn't dare look back. I was afraid to see Sam's eyes. Later, Ethan continued visiting my sister every day. But Sam never came again. One day after dinner, Ethan helped my sister to her room for a nap. When she was resting, he returned to the living room and looked at me. "Zoe, can we talk?" Although Ethan and my sister seemed close, we had never really spoken before. He looked at me directly and asked, "Are you reincarnated?" I froze. What kind of question was that? Or are you a transmigrator? Ethan pressed further. His words sounded bizarre, but I caught the underlying implications. "Do you know this world is a book?" Ethan didn't deny it. Instead, he sighed and said, "So you're a transmigrator?" "No, I'm not. I just awakened one day." Ethan let out a bitter smile.
No wonder.
No wonder the plot is so different from what I remember. Then Ethan confessed something shocking. He was reincarnated. In his past life, he had loved my sister but felt unworthy of her. He believed only someone like Sam, perfect and accomplished, could stand by her side. So, he left the country much like I once tried to cut ties with the past. He never expected me to drug Sam, forcing him into a relationship with me. And the reason my sister died in that accident was that she was on her way to see Ethan after hearing he had returned. Ethan spent the rest of his life drowning in guilt, eventually ending it by suicide. It was only after his death that he realized we were all characters in a tragic novel. Except for the male and female leads, the rest of us were just NPCs. Side characters destined to witness the tragedy unfold without being able to change it. But Ethan refused to accept that. "They say I'm just an NPC in this book, but I can feel pain, sadness, that means I'm real. Why should I step aside for the sake of the plot? This time, I'm staying by your sister's side." Then Ethan dropped another bombshell. Actually, Sam knew the drink was spiked before he drank it. I told him. My entire world turned upside down. Everything suddenly felt like a cruel joke. I'm not Sam and I can't understand his thoughts. I told him because he's my friend. I didn't want him to walk into tragedy, even if it meant competing with me for Eva. Otherwise, I wouldn't have won fairly. Ethan didn't say anything more after that. He told me if I wanted answers, I should ask Sam myself. Before I left, Ethan said one last thing that completely floored me. "You think you're the villain because you believe you're a side character. What else would I be?" He gave me a sad smile. Sam is the only one who dies naturally in the book, making him the true male lead. And in novels, the woman most deeply tied to the male lead is usually the heroine. Aside from being childhood friends, he has no romantic connection to your sister. So you're the real heroine. Chapter 12. I hadn't seen Sam for a long time. He didn't answer my calls, so I had no choice but to go to his house. When I knocked, he was there. He had just gotten off work, still wearing his suit but with his tie loosened. Seat. He was distant. It seemed my rejection that day had truly hurt him. The look in his eyes carried a hint of sadness. "If you dislike me so much, why are you here? Is it urgent?" "I don't dislike you." For the first time, I desperately wanted to explain my feelings to him. His eyes lit up for a moment but then quickly dimmed. So you don't dislike me, but you still don't like me. Sam, Ethan told me you knew about the drug in that drink 8 years ago, didn't you?
Sam froze.
Then he nodded. I knew, but I wasn't sure. Honestly, it didn't matter whether it was drugged or not. His voice cracked with restraint. I drank it willingly. That's why I never blamed you. I just didn't understand why you regretted it. Ethan said we're all characters in a book, and his changes caused a butterfly effect. Did that make you stop liking me? When he looked up again, I thought I saw tears in his eyes. My nose tingled and my chest felt tight. No, it's not that I don't like you. My mind was in chaos. I told him everything I had seen after awakening, the future that Ethan had experienced firsthand. Although it sounded unbelievable, Sam had already heard bits of it from Ethan, so he quickly accepted it. So you avoided me because you thought we'd turn against each other? That everyone would die? Sam laughed through his tears. Then why did you suddenly come looking for me now? Ethan said if we can feel pain and sadness, then we're real. He was supposed to be an NPC in this story, but he's fighting to change his fate. He also said I'm the heroine. So, I don't want to run away anymore. Chapter 13. Sam held me in his arms. He cried, apologizing to me over and over again.
I'm sorry.
I treated you poorly in our past life and let you die sick and alone. That's why you're so afraid to get close to me now. I'm sorry I didn't confess my feelings sooner. That's why we kept missing each other time and time again. Zoe, can you give me one more chance? I wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes. I felt so guilty. Honestly, these words should have come from me. After all, it was me who drugged him. And it was also me who ran away for 8 years. Sam, thank you for waiting for me. Chapter 14. Sam and I naturally ended up together. On the day we made it public, there was more good news. My sister's illness had been cured. My sister said she wanted to travel abroad and see the world. I gave her the keys to my place overseas. She looked at me and asked, "What about you? I can always go abroad again, but right now..." I reached out and took Sam's hand. I want to make up for the time we lost.